Hey guys, welcome back to For the Classical Guitarist. My name is John, and if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell to be notified about future videos that I post. Anyway, let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about on-the-spot arrangements. Now, if you follow the channel, you might be thinking that I've done something like that already, and I kind of did. The video I did in the past was a video about how to make quick guitar arrangements, but on the spot is a bit different because, as you can guess it, they're on the spot. The kinds of arrangements that you're going to see in this video are even less thought out than the previous video, and it's going to take only a quick second if you're pretty familiar with reading lead sheet and melody to figure out how to do something simple. So let's check this video out. Stick around to the end, and I hope that you find this helpful. Alright, so in this video I want to talk to you about how to make simple arrangements for the guitar. And when I say simple, I mean arrangements that you're not going to go out and play in the concert or in a recital, but ones you might play just to impress somebody because it's a song that they actually know, as opposed to many of the other songs, unfortunately, in the guitar repertoire. So the song used as an example in this video is going to be a song that nobody knows by a band that nobody knows, just to play it safe, and that would be Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. So if you're not familiar with it, go look it up. Okay, so now that you're familiar with the song, we need to talk about the three parts of any arrangement, and that would be the melody, the harmony, and the overall accompaniment. With those things combined, we can start to craft our arrangement. So, we're going to do this in 3 steps. Step number 1 is you need to figure out what a guitar-friendly key is. You don't want to get halfway through and realize that some chords just don't work on the guitar. So what makes a guitar-friendly key is actually very much connected to the 3 things I said earlier. It's connected to the melody purely because of where does it sit, right? Does it use a lot of sharps or flats, for example? Does it make you jump octaves a lot, right? If it has a song that has a wide range, it might not be the best choice to do for your first arrangement. And maybe doing one with a smaller range would be a little bit easier, like we're going to be doing in this video. Another thing that would make something more guitar-friendly is something that uses open strings. We'll get more to that later. So the reason why I'm using Here Comes the Sun as the example for this video is exactly because of the reasons I just said. Number 1 is in the key of A, which only has 3 sharps, and actually it works on the guitar very well, even if you hate reading sharps. Number 2 is because the melody sits very well. It's not too high, it's not too low, and it's kind of in the general mid-range of the guitar, which means it doesn't force you to jump up out of first position if you don't want to leave it. And number 3, because you're going to see that the chords that are used in the song line up with the open strings of the guitar very easily. Obviously it has the chord A, because we're in the key of A. It's going to have a D chord, which works pretty well, especially because we have an open D string. And it also has an E chord, which obviously works really well, because we have an open E string. So step number 2 we kind of already talked about, but that would be to get familiar with the melody and figure out where you're going to play it. Because as you know, we can play the same exact note here, 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 and then that goes for a lot of the other notes on the guitar as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play the opening bit just so you get an idea of how the melody sounds on the guitar, and then I'll talk about why I did that. So I'm going to do it down in the first position, right? The first note's going to be a C sharp, as you see on the screen, and the opening melody goes something like this. So it's not the hardest melody in the world, but it sounds nice. So the reason why I'm choosing to do it down there is because it keeps you in one position the whole entire time. But number 2 is because it's pretty close to the open chord shapes that many people know. And that makes it a lot easier when we want to add in our accompaniment, as we will later. So when you first start making your own on-the-spot arrangements, as I like to call them, you definitely want to do it with a song that you're pretty familiar with. Even if you have the sheet music in front of you, it's going to make it a lot easier if you know the melody super well and you can kind of just more or less pick it out by ear and use the sheet music more or less as a guideline as opposed to something that's dictating you of exactly what to play and when. And finally, step 3, which is probably the most complicated part, which has to do with actually adding in the chords and deciding where you're going to play them and what you want to do. So let's take a look at what we got. So the first few notes is a C sharp, a B, a C sharp, and an A. Now the chord that's being played under it, as you can see, is an A chord, the one that everyone knows, something like this. So now you might not want the whole entire chord because that might be a little distracting, but that would sound something like this. So it works, but maybe let's start simpler. So what I like to do is I like to often have the thumb playing a bass line throughout of the notes of the chord, preferably the lower ones, so that way it doesn't interfere with the melody by being too close in range to it. And that way when we get to the later parts, I can add the full chords in there to make it sound even more exciting. So what I might try for this opening bit would be something more like this. It's a lot simpler, but it's just as effective in my opinion. Let's keep going. So the next chord that we have is a D major 7. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop the 7th and just focus on the D and the F sharp because the melody that it's being paired with is the same thing as before, a C sharp, a B, and an A. So now I could do the D note on the open 4th string, but I'm going to go ahead and do it actually on the 5th string instead, so that way I have the F sharp just in case I need it. So I might do it something like this. So the next chord that you see is a B7 over D sharp. So right away I'm going to go ahead and scratch the D sharp, and I'm going to go ahead and mostly focus on the B note. So because I left off with finger 2 playing the A over here, I have finger 1 free to actually grab that B. And I already have finger 2 there to play the next A, and then I can go ahead and play the open B, and then the A one more time. And finally we have our home chord, which is A, which is being paired with the notes C sharp, B, and A, very similar to the beginning. And for that I might just do something like this. Okay, so if we put that all together we end up getting something like this. Okay, so like I said, it's not the most complex or most interesting arrangement that's ever been made, but like I said before, it gets the job done by getting this point of the song across, and that's kind of the goal right now. But if you wanted to take your arranging to the next step, one thing I might suggest for you to do would be to revoice some of the chords. For example, instead of playing the A chord over here, you might want to try maybe playing it over here. Or maybe you want to play it like this. Unfortunately, I can't go into much detail other than that in this quick video, but one thing I would recommend for you to do if you want to get better at arranging even from here would be to go check out other people's arrangements. That way you can see what they're doing. You might see things that you like but just didn't think of. You also might see things that you didn't think of that you don't like, and it will just save you some time. Either way, it's going to help you out. Now, getting better at arranging, just like practicing the guitar, is going to take time. It's not something that you can do just like that and magically be good at it. So go out, make some arrangements, and I hope you found this video helpful.